All right, well, today we're talking about the song Party on Apocalypse by Newfound Glory. Cyrus Bolooki on drums, just awesome, and we're covering the intro and the verse. Let's get into it. Yeah, so this is Cyrus Bolooki on drums. Been inspired by his playing for a long time. And something cool is he actually posts drum cam videos of Newfound Glory shows. And there's one for this song, so I'll make sure to link to that. Then the other thing is, you might have noticed I play eighth notes on my hi-hat foot. And I play ghost notes on the snare. If you watch the live video, Cyrus does that, so I wanted to copy that. But if you're having trouble with the hi-hat foot or with ghost notes, do not worry about putting those in right now. Learn the groove without those things first. Get it nailed down, polished, sounding great. And then look at the hi-hat foot and the ghost notes on the snare as a way to level up, right? And enjoy that journey and that process of getting better and adding those things into your groove later on. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to play the intro and verse really slowly, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so that was really slow, but it's important to be able to play it that slow and make it sound good. If you can't make it sound good slow, you're not going to be able to make it sound good when you get it up to tempo. Okay, so a couple things to notice here. Number one is this song starts with a push. That means that if we counted 16th notes, and if you're not familiar with counting and drum notation, no worries. I've got a 2-part series all about that. I'll link to it. Check that out and then come back here if you're not familiar. But if we're counting 16th notes, that would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So the kick and crash to start the song off comes in on the of 4. So 4 E and da 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 da. It's not da da da, right? It's not this. It's this. So hopefully you can feel that, you can hear that. That is a push. Another thing is we want to make sure that our right hand on the crash, or wherever you're playing that, stays constant. We're playing eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No matter what else we're doing, if we're adding in that push with our left, the right hand still plays the ostinato. You're not stopping the right to play that. So it's not da 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 da. It's da 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 da, right? Very important that you don't stop that ostinato because that's going to jack up your groove and your flow, right? Keep that thing going nice and steady. Do not chop into your crash cymbal like this is an axe. Make sure that you're coming off the side or you're coming at an angle a little bit to the cymbal. Not an extreme angle, but you're coming off the cymbal a little bit. That will give you a better sound. And it's just a healthier way to play. So your cymbals will last longer too. So something to note there. Okay, let's bump up the tempo a little bit. Play it at more of a mid-tempo. My hi-hat foot gets a little bit off during this part, but it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So I will just say, record yourself as you're doing this, right? Because I was able to listen back and say, oh, my hi-hat foot got off a little bit, and I can tweak that next time. Do the same thing. Listen back, and maybe your crash cymbal's way too loud, or maybe your snare hits are kind of weak. You won't know that kind of stuff unless you listen back or you record yourself. So, do that if you're able. And then a couple things to notice with this. There's that triple on the hi-hat, right? There's two closed chicks, and then one open. So right? You can't do that unless you've got some hand technique built up. If you're having any trouble with your triples, using your fingers, the Tempo League, like the Better Hands course is going to help you with all that stuff. So run over to tempoleague.com, start a free trial. It's going to help you out big time. But that triple is really important on the hi-hat. And then notice the sticking. When I play the splash part, it's a right hand on the snare, left, right on the hi-hat, and that makes it so I can end with a nice left on the splash. You don't have to do it that way. You could alternate that and go left on the snare, right, left on the hat, and right on the splash. But just something to think about. Make sure that you are being intentional with it and you're understanding what you're doing. And then just a couple more things. We talked about ghost notes. So here's some examples of ghost notes. I play it on the hi-hat just so you can hear the ghost notes better, and then I'll play on the crashes. But it's just the ghost notes are really low and light on the snare to fill in the groove. They really help fill in the groove and kind of move it along. And as a drummer, once you start incorporating ghost notes, it's kind of like second nature. Your left hand kind of just fills it in during the groove. So again, you should be able to turn off the ghost notes and turn them on at will, right? If you're not able to do it now, don't worry about it. You can add them in later, but it's just something to work towards. And again, watch Cyrus. He definitely is putting some ghost notes in there. So I do play a rim shot on the snare. This is a rockin' song, right? Lots going on volume-wise. So to get that snare to be a really loud crack and really break through, I play a stroke on the snare, but the back part of the stick also hits the rim of the snare at the same time. It's called a rim shot. If you're, having trouble with the groove, again, don't worry about rim shots right now. Just something to think about and know to work towards in the future. And then last thing is, there is notation for this groove. I used Groove Scribe, as always, great tool from mikeslessons.com. And check that out if you're having any trouble with this. Slow it down. There's the little, there's the BPM meter. You can drop it down and really pay attention to where kicks are landing and crashes and snares, and just take it slow. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for checking this out. Party on Apocalypse. Subscribe for more videos, and I hope you have a great week.